Welcome back to your Skift Daily Briefing. It is Friday, November 14th. I am Sarah Dandashy, here to break down the top travel stories that happened this week and the ones that you actually need to know about. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Apple just launched Digital ID, giving travelers a way to get through TSA without pulling out a physical passport or a driver's license. It's now live in over 250 U.S. airports, just in time for the holiday rush. You scan your passport, verify with a selfie, and your identity lives in your Apple Wallet. At TSA, you double-click your iPhone or Apple Watch, approve the share, and confirm with Face ID. But don't retire your wallet just yet. This is domestic only, and TSA still wants a physical ID just as a backup. Apple promises broader use cases in the future, but for now, think of it as a helpful convenience and not necessarily a replacement. Other regions are already ahead of the game, of course. Finland has digital passports, Malaysia leans on biometric e-passports, and the EU is prepping to phase out passport stamps entirely. Now, the bottom line, the US is inching into the digital identity era, slowly, but it is happening. Canadians are skipping U.S. trips, even as Canada's tourism surges. New data shows that Canadians are hesitating on U.S. travel. In October, car returns dropped 30%, air returns fell 24%, and that's the 10th straight month of declines. A new Angus Reid survey echoes it. Only 10% of Canadians took more than one U.S. trip this year, half of 2023's rate. And nearly 70% say they are uncomfortable visiting this winter, pointing to strict border rules and fingerprinting as major turnoffs. Meanwhile, Canada's tourism is having a moment. Inbound arrivals were up 4.2%, and major airports are seeing double-digit growth in non-US international travel, even beating 2019 levels. And this matters because Canada makes up about 28% of inbound US visitors. If this trend holds, expect ripple effects on hotels, attractions, and airlines. Singapore is taking a bold climate step, and travelers will feel it. Starting October 1st, 2026, it will introduce the world's first passenger levy for sustainable aviation fuel, also known as SAF. Charges start at 77 cents for short-haul economy, climb to $32 for long-haul premium, and private jets could see fees up to $5,000 per flight. Of course, this also includes cargo aircrafts. Now, the goal is to reach 3 to 5% SAF usage by 2030, but SAF currently represents only about 0.3% of global jet fuel, and critics argue scaling it could strain land and food systems. Of course, still, Singapore is pushing ahead as Shanghai Airport approaches record passenger numbers. Well, that's it for today's briefing. For more insight into the business of travel, head to skift.com and subscribe to the Skift Daily newsletter at skift.com/daily. I'm Sarah Dandashy. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.